Welcome, everyone. This is a short notice, 5 minutes or so. Let's see how we're doing, because these three major questions we will unpack. AI is becoming a major force in shaping the future of business, but what do you think are the most important first steps for companies looking to embrace AI in a good way that drives both innovation and human potential? A topic that we hear all the time. Let's expand on that question. Later on, we will talk about how do we use AI to reshaping business strategies for the future here, 5, 10 years. And maybe we need to also touch the balance between technology and humanity. How can businesses ensure AI enhances human potential? But let's go back to, what drives innovation? I think the first steps to take are pretty clear. As a business leader, you need to have a vision. You need to set that vision tangibly in front of people so I understand it. You need to have purpose and strategic foresight, and you need to act as an ambidextrous company that both innovates and drives business with the help of new AI. And the future is almost like a renewable resource. It's always coming, it's always new, and we can shape it. That's your role. You are in the business of change, and everything that matters comes from this place of hope. So, what do you hope for? What do you see? Literally, what's your vision? So, review these assumptions, what your innovation could be, and go for it. Now, educate yourself in the processes of technology coming out so you can imagine this vision while you're thinking of your own future. You need to follow the plan, but you need to follow the vision. You need to have realistic goals, but they must be ambitious because the future is developing so fast. So you need to have these fast ambitions there. You need to maximize your learning, not only minimize your risk. Expand your influence, not only your authority, because this will happen in a community. And you need to centralize decision making, obviously, as many companies, but you need to empower the decision makers and people out there, grow your network, and individualize everything for everyone. Now, the purpose is basically knowing what you want. Why are you relevant 10 years from now? To whom? What is your purpose being doing business 5, 10 years from now? What would be the first steps to take today to be in that purpose? Now, when you maybe establish that, you can think about how can we establish strategic foresight? Because we probably have strategy. You have strategy. Now, how can that be foresighted strategy, not only forecasted from some historical data? And we know when the future is changing fast. We need to have scenarios about it. How does that future look? So set up an internal framework for scenario planning, scenario crafting. It should be IT and AI supported speculative outlooks, alternative scenarios, and strategic investigations for you and your ecosystem's future. You need to also show that future. Know and show what's next for you. That's your task. So you need to make prototypes, tangible future prototypes like the automotive industry does. And you need to make market qualification, vision crafting, business models experimentation. All these things AI can help you with. You need to have a good idea of the future fabric, what is happening. Then you need to build your narratives around it. What would you say? What would be the stories and the scenarios? Of all those stories, and you need to have many, what is your strategic point of view? Because you should have many and you choose one first, then you have strategy. The rest is almost easy. Game plan, incubate, validate, and scale. That's what we do. And while you have this from future fabric to scale, going to market, you are acting as an ambidextrous company, both innovating with the future in mind and operating with the future in mind. That's the first thing, maybe the first things to think about when thinking and planning and strategizing and having foresight and vision about the future. If we look at the second question, how do you see AI reshaping strategies next 5 years? Well, externally, I would say that historically we moved from this integrated company, the classic industrial revolution that gave us the division of labor, putting conglomerations together. Then we went to platforms. Every company has services, offerings, an ecosystem. I think what's emerging is moving building on those platforms and moving to autonomous business networks, when your members in your business network are autonomously enabled, also with AI, to plug in and thrive directly in your network without the legal constraints and all that, because those things might be AI operated in the future. Second thing I think is reshaping our strategies is exactly this autonomy of those networks, the creator's economy, as we call it. You might heard it a little bit when we talked about metaverse and all these things, but think rather metaverse being just a part, just a visual, audio, sensorial part of that universe. But the network consists of people enabled with tools and agents of AI today that create new IP. They might be the best innovators you never have met. They might be the startup or scale-up ecosystem you never plugged into. They will be autonomous. They will connect. You need to connect to them and be relevant in those autonomous, not only automated networks. Which brings in a lot of unstructured data, great for AI to crunch around, the senses we have. And you need to be prepared that in a few years, we'll be able not only capture what's written on internet digitally, but the rest of our lives. I'm pointing out my window here, the digital twin of the real world. And you need to be strategically prepared to handle that. Okay, last question that we should touch upon here is the human and technology balance. Remember when we talked about life and work balance many years ago? And we realized that when we're passionate about something, we integrate them together. We live and work and have our passions and interests and the topics that really fire us up in one bucket in our heads. Now, AI might be companies' nervous system of the future. Agents and autonomy coming together, large action models doing everything. You can speak to your business and give it tasks that it actually can complete, especially when you will connect AI to your domain data. So this augmentation of each of your workers is so important. Look at the call centers where people were so afraid, oh, people will lose jobs because AI will be better in call centers. It is, but only in certain aspects. It still hallucinates. Hallucinations is not human imagination and ingenuity yet. So people use it as a reference point, but they answer themselves. The quality goes up dramatically. The people that were worst in being in the help desk are now medium and good. Those that were good are even better. This is the future of augmenting us to skills we didn't have before. Imagine that now applied in strategic teams, decision makers, and everything that humans find dear and exciting about making business. Remember, business is made by people, but operated by technology. Business is thought up, imagined by people. Sometimes it is irrational. How can AI support that irrationality almost, that imagination, that speculation, that adventure, that venture? But in a way, so you can focus on creativity of business rather than operations of business. This is where the human and machine learning, the human-machine learning comes together. And I believe the human creativity, ingenuity, and thought and subjective opinion exchange might be leveraged on top of any business that wants to run innovation with a human and imagination, future-centered way. This is how we lead from the future. And this is what I hope the future will bring to us. I hope you find some good points here. And if not, reach out. Let's have a discussion. This is tricky business, and there's so much more to say. But we have just limited time, and I hope I inspired you to think and ask better questions about how you will lead from the future. Thank you very much.